You didn't think there would be just one Thanksgiving turkey, did you? It's still the 18th of November, and we're back for another series between Neblime and Hamster. My lime squeezing, wheel turning friends submitted this epic best of seven series for you to see. And today, we'll find out once and for all if it takes a lime or a hamster wheel to generate more power than a potato. Fasten your light bulbs, ladies and gentlemen, because we're diving right in. This first match brings us to Sideshow. Sideshow is one of the maps in the Ascension competitive pool, and you will see it often this tournament season. Speaking of which, today were the finals, and I have not watched the results yet, so you should definitely go check that out on Pronago's official channel if you are interested in competitive Cosmonarchy. But let's get back to this cast over, shall we? We do have the Celadon Zerg, that's Hamster. And we have over here the Blue Terran, that's Neblime. So Neblime's a pretty good player. I lost to Neblime 0-3 in our most recent tournament bracket. He put me down. He's a pretty good player. If you go up against him, you're going to have a rough time. He has a pretty good Terran. Now, Hamster, on the other hand, Hamster has been a rising star on the Cosmonarchy scene, right? He has made it to the grand finals of the Ascension tournament. So I'm really excited to see what these two players are going to bring to the table during this series. We are going to see that's a fast, excuse me, that is a fast macro hatch out of Hamster. I am very curious to see where this is going to go. If you're going fast macro hatch, you're saying, I want to build more workers, I want to build more troops, and I want to do it now. I don't want to expand, I don't want it to be vulnerable. I want to surround this with my tech and my static defense, and I want to prepare for a stable mid-game. It will be a Quaseth pull to follow up, and it will be put down just in time for the Mason to arrive and see just what's going on in this alien infestation. We will see Droleth after Droleth getting pumped out. The Mason will spot all this activity and say, ooh, that's not for me. I think I'm going to go home. A couple of Mavericks keeping watch. Idle worker. Looks like the Neblime is going to go for an expansion, seeing that his opponent has opted for the fast macro hat. Now, this is a little bit risky, right? Neblime knows that, yes, his opponent is, like typically as Zerg, you go fast expand. You get your economy online faster than the other races, and if you can fortify the position, and you don't suffer some kind of terrible early game cheese or like a gateway rush, you can actually have a pretty stable mid game and go to greater heights from there. But with the fast macro hatch, you give that up. It's a big investment. So Neblime's going to have to keep this natural safe. He probably wants to throw down an anchor somewhere, but it's going to be a star pad. And that's fine, because like more units is better, right? You get a Wraith, you can go and see what's going on in your opponent's base. You get an Anseal, you can survive early harassment, and there is an anchor coming down now. Ministry is nearly complete, and maybe we'll even see some Trojans. Maybe we'll see a Huracan drop in Hamster's future. There will be a second star pad, so he is going to be going for a bit more of a gas-intensive build here. Some Nathacores show up in order to start causing havoc, as do a pair of Zethicores. It will now go and hide in the mineral line in order to get, just to keep tabs on this area, so when it becomes more fortified. So Hamster is now aware that air units are coming his way. If we look back, he is taking an expansion. He isn't building any static defense at his mineral line, but he is getting Quasilisks. He wants to be able to attack up if he needs to. The Anathacors are back. They are harassing the Watchdog. And they will be shooed away. Wraith is out. Another on the way. Will there be some harassment from Neblime now? Now that it's been confirmed that the air units are out, we will see the Sprayeth colony from Hamster. There will be one in the natural as well. It's now Neblime's turn to put the pressure on his opponent while he has control of the air. There are going to be... So, Hamster is acknowledging the strategy. He's getting an Ovulet so that he has detection. He's getting 2 of them. He's going to keep 1 in each base. And he's getting more Quasilisks so that he can deal with the harassment as they kind of skirt around the range of the Sprayeths. There's actually 3 Ovulets, so imagine 1 for the natural, 1 for the main, and 1 to move with the fighting force, but they will actually be used as double scouts, interestingly enough. So, meanwhile over here, we do have 4 Wraiths poking around, trying to see if they can do a little damage. There's not a lot of Quasis right now, but they can easily pick these off and just start doing a whole bunch of damage to these structures. Not great for Neblime. Here come the Ovulets. Looks like they're going to transport these Quasis up over the cliff and bring them into the main of Neblime. Meanwhile, we have just more Wraiths being pumped out full force. We have a pair of Shamans out. These are going to act as area healing for the Wraiths. This is basically like heading back to the landing strip to refuel. But for Terrans, it's much more convenient. A pair of anchors, is here to ward off any direct assault, but the units will be forced to evacuate and dispatch these Quasilisks in the main. Now, this attack wasn't very successful for Hamster. In fact, so far it's been a pretty big net loss. Now he managed to take out the Wraiths because Neblime wasn't paying attention. So let's see if he can get something else out of this. Huh. And he's dropping static defense in his main. I love that. I love that so much. A man after my own heart. Here they come. The Wraiths are sniped. Merciless death. And now the Masons are next. They move out as a group, trying to quell this force. And they will be evacuated. One Ovolith is used as bait and is going to be killed, but it will allow these remaining Quasilisks to escape. Yep, there it goes. More Quasilisks have arrived. That's a lot of Quasilisks. So there's a lot of pressure on Neblime right now, but his expansion is still up and running. He's just been forced to move his force into his main, and there's going to be an Atlas. So, he's like, no sweat. You want to drop Quasilisks in my main? I'm here all day. There will be a 3rd base going down for Hamster. He is continuing to drill up. Got plenty of workers. He's got plenty of gas. I wonder if he's saving for tier 2. He's just going to rush straight into it and maybe go for Calculisks or Leerlisks. Yeah, he does manage to bust the anchors, but there's just not enough Quasilisks to finish off the force. They will be hunted down like coyotes in the snow. And they're scared off by the Huracan. Meanwhile, these stragglers will be picked off, and the Ovolith will escape. So, Neblime reclaiming his territory. His Atlas is done. He's building fulcrums and starports. Hamster has enough money for tier 2. He really needs to seriously consider dropping it right now before he's put in a very awkward spot by Neblime. When the Wyverns and the Salamanders come out, the Quasilus are just not going to cut it. And there it is, the Iris. More static defense in the main, and a defensive position is being taken by the Terran Bio. And they're now preparing to move out. They will come face to face with a bunch of Quasilus. If that Huracan had turned, he could have done a number on this troop. But they should be dispatched with the help of the Shaman and the Cyprians. Almost a relatively even engagement, but the Cyprians and the Cleric are just too much for the light Zerg units. Meanwhile, Wraiths, they will escape. It looks like a few of them died. And there will be many more Quasilists on the way. Or not, actually. I think those were Zephyr-Cores. Yeah, more Ovileths, though, interestingly enough. And it looks like he is going to get an Irileth. So he wants to be able to lift his completed static defense. And you have to morph your Ovileth into an Irileth in order to be able to do that. It is a tier 2 transport and utility unit. This Quasilisk is scouting this 4th, making sure no cheeky business is going on. Meanwhile, Ministry going down in a 3rd for Neblime, soon to be supplemented surely by many more Sentinels and Watchdogs. He's got his troop of Wraiths back in full health, and they're off to continue harassing his opponent. And this ground force will now turn, preparing to deal with the horde of Vorvercores. The Vorvercores make it very difficult for Bio to deal with swarming forces like this. They're really valuable. Now, with some smart targeting and a bit of repair, this Sentinel can dispatch quite a bit of this force. But the Madrigals are here to provide support, and that's going to be more than enough to deal with a force like this. Especially with the double Anseal and the Wyvern. Yeah, kiss your dreams of an offensive goodbye. Hamster is going to have to go back to the drawing board after that engagement. So, how will Neblime follow up on this? He has a Madrigal coming out. He's got more Wyverns on the way. Oh, we are going to see a Mutath Spire. This is great. If he builds Mutalisks, he can really shut down what Neblime has going on right now. It will force Neblime to go for Salamanders or Sundogs, or more importantly, he may be forced to go Valkyries. Oh, yes. This is what I like to see from my Zerg players. We have 4 Irileths with a bunch of static defense, getting ready to move out and do as they please. We will have, I believe these are Protathalors. We'll find out here in just a moment. And we have a drop coming from Neblime as well. We have 2 players who like to drop each other. They're even doing it in a synchronized fashion. Wow. So the Madrigal will go down just shy of killing the workers. Meanwhile, these circuits are just going to cause quite a bit of trouble for Neblime. He has only just now started pulling out his workers. Yeah, and he'll need to start moving these. There you have it. But the jig is up. The Valkyries are here to shut down the expensive Irileths. And it will only result in some lost mining time, maybe, 6 SCV deaths. And he's got 71 workers. That's nothing for him right now. He's got a 30 worker lead on his opponent. Oh, not anymore. A lot of Droliths just came out. Ah, I see. All the work has vanished from his main. I missed the magical drop. But there are... Oh, they're Sicrilisks. That's what I was seeing. Meanwhile, these are the Protathalors. They will discover the space. It will be cancelled. And the Mason spared. Well, Neblime must be confused about that one. These idle forces will be eviscerated by the incoming Zerg. There are phalanxes here, and the madrigals are about to deploy. The phalanxes will not be enough to stem the tide. We will need to see at least a slightly higher concentration of Protathalors in order to break this line, though. It does give Neblime some time to think about what exactly he's going to do. I hear... Yep, Mutalisks. Alright, the reckoning has come. The static defense is going to fall in no time at all. And if Hamster is smart, he will disable his opponent's tech. Yep, snipe the Valkyrie and take out those starports. He will opt for losing Mutalisks to the Watchdogs, and then losing more Mutalisks to the remainder of the Watchdogs. Meanwhile, what I see is another a Huracan drop, but it wasn't super successful. Definitely not cost-efficient trade there. This Trojan was also really low. He almost lost all of those units, but the targeting AI saved him and granted him a few kills in pity. These will narrowly escape a bunch of Mutalisks. I don't know what the hell happened there. Meanwhile, these Irelets, looks like one of them, yeah, just one of them has static defense in it. The Wraith will narrowly escape. Meanwhile, a Hydrith Den in the third for Hamster. He has he's got he had a lot of gas. I see. He's upgrading the Hydrith Den. He's most likely interested in grabbing either Vithralisks to deal with the air units, or Bactylus to assist his Protathalors in sieging down the forces from Neblime. More Phalanxes, more Salamanders. And they will clash with the Mutalisks. Fortunately, it's safe splash, so it won't cause any harm to the Sentinel. Ally safe. And the Mutalisks will take a little breather in the top right. Meanwhile, a bunch of Mavericks are cracking beers and having a party in the tundra. And an Irelith is headed down this way. But will it spot them? Cyprians and Sentinels guard the third for Neblime. Meanwhile, Phalanxes and Sentinels in the top. He hasn't gotten much more in the way of production, but he's kind of pouring his money into units right now. He's mined out his main. Some scouting units got nuked. Mason will be sacrificed. And a new front line will be established for Hamster. Now he's finding out that Protathalors don't attack air. He will need his Bactylus to stay alive if this is going to work. Intelligently, he has placed his Salamanders over the Bactylus, which reduces the amount of bounces they get from their attacks, effectively nullifying a lot of their damage. The Mutalists will escape. They can't take this fighting force head on. They will need some more Vitherlisks before they are able to duel with the Salamanders. We will see the Daedalus go down for Neblime. He will finally take Tier 3. Maybe we'll see some Capital Terran Air, or, if we're lucky, maybe we'll see some Anti-Chthons. But I don't know Neblime to build those too often, so we'll just have to wait and see. Salamanders and Wyverns patrol across the map, looking for any suspicious activity. Will they spot the Kagra? They will not. More Masons migrating to a new expansion to join their brothers in the employment line. Finally, a mass of Vitherlisks has been amassed and is ready to spar with the Terran Air. But there are Magilisks, there are Phalanxes, there is 4 Trojans filled with a variety of units. Is Neblime prepared to put an end to Hamster Zerg? Lots of static defense going down in the center base here. Very awkward, lots of idle workers for Neblime. But he is building a diadem. Iron Foundry. Alright, here's the moment of truth. Oh no, they're not paying attention. No, Neblime. You're wasting all your air units. It's alright though. Hamster's force was not prepared to be harried by multiple diadems. It has granted Neblime some much needed breathing room as he recoups from that devastating loss. What will Hamster do now that he knows the diadems are online? And what will he do now that he knows his base is being assaulted by a bunch of Arakkans and Phalanxes? And he has nothing but Vitherlisks. He can't attack them. And he's building more Vitherlisks. Oh dear. That's quite a lot of Mutalisks storming the center of the map. An unprepared Neblime could have a rude awakening if they get the better of him. But he has more diadems going down. He's got lots of static defense. Oh no. Brutalized. Absolutely brutalized. Oh no, he did it to himself. I can't believe that happened. Well, now he's forced to retreat, or Neblime, trolled by his own diadems. They will be forced to lift and take additional damage from the Vitherlisks. And the Hamster realizes for the first time that diadems can be lifted off. He had a Wellbore here too, that's not cheap. Single Cuirass arrives. Oh, that could have been such a sick play if he hadn't kited back so far. But a Paladin has arrived. Those were some very smart plays from Neblime. I loved to see that. Oh no. No, Neblime, it's still attacking your paladin. Stop it, Neblime. Hit stop. Oh, good. No, the forest is going to go to a less... What he suspects is a less prepared space. Oh no. He just narrowly avoids it each time. Hamster is wising up though. Will the Masons lead them to this new expansion? Yep. Oh no, all the Masons sacrificed. But it's buying him a little time. He's moving out his Trojans. He's got some units here at home to defend with. I don't know how effective this is going to be, but... No. Oh, good. I thought he was going to break himself again. When your base is just a suicidal pond for diadem shots. The Zethicors are forced to run away. And it looks like the Air Force has retreated. Where did it go? There it is. Just things being annihilated all over the map. That'll do it. He will stem the tide of Zethicors for now. More paladins. And now Silver Tongues on the way. So his main, his natural, and pretty much his third are all mined out. There's a little bit of money left on his fourth. There we go. Some Tethazoricors will do the trick. They have Saber Siphon, and they're a little bit tankier, and they'll revert into Aziricors if they don't come from, what is it called? Kafirlosk, that's what I thought. As you can see, they took the shots from the Paladins with relative impunity, and they've made short work of this expansion. Meanwhile, what in the world? Oh, the Silver Tongues have, with their height advantage, are able to attack the base from all the way over there. That's awesome. They have 12 range, and it becomes 13. The Cuirass doesn't care about diadem shots. What a bloodbath. Yeah, the Tazgrillus took a lot of damage there. was not great for Hamster. Oh, look at them all pop. Nice. Well, I was going to say the expansion managed to stay online, but not for long. The air units regroup for easy pickings. These Masons are not long for this world, and the response to stop this attack is slow. There are 2 new Paladins out. They will force these air units back. Meanwhile, lots of Drollets migrating across the map, looking for any money they can possibly take. Alcagulus out for Hamster. He's finally got the biggest of the Zerg guns, save for the Sovroleth and the Ultra Core. But, you know, he doesn't have any Keystra cores. Shame on you, Hamster. You should have more Keystra cores. This base is still being harassed. Oh, and the Alcagulus narrowly miss a direct shot from the Diadem. Paladins now move out, trying to secure some territory on the map. The harassment force rallies on the right side and is now going in to seal the deal on these workers. You know, Neblime has the tools to repel these forces, but I really think he's going to need to go for some capital air if he wants to break Hamster's offensive. Because Hamster is eventually going to have a bunch of Alcagulisks, and that's going to be a very bad day for Neblime. Even with all of his Diadems and Paladins. Up goes the Weasel. Just beautiful. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Neblime GG's out of the first match. Now, that ran a little longer than I expected it to, so we're going to take a break and resume this series with the next video. So thanks for watching, and until next time.